I guess I get Liberty.
Yes, Liberty is a region game
Yeah,
for them.
I thought so.
They also have Powdersville, which has really developed into a nice county rivalry.
They have. Powdersville has acquitted themselves very well from the beginning.
Yes, they have. From going no wins at all their first season to making the playoffs last season.
Yeah.
That's a very, very quick turnaround. In that area, I'm not sure if you've ever been over there, but that area is booming, and I don't...
Got kinfolk over there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's their last year in 2A as well. They're moving to 3A next year. I won't be surprised if they're a 4A school in the next 6 years, possibly, because that area's population...
Those people over there think they live in Greenville, you know?
Yeah, they do.
And or the one there also, some of them think they live in Easley.
Yeah,
but,
that's a...
yeah.
They have a lot of ties to Greenville. It feels like Greenville when you go over
Well, it's a
there.
bedroom community.
But back to Pendleton, they might luck out a little bit this year with their region because they have Blacksburg, Chesney, and Woodruff are all making key replacements on their offense, all at quarterback.
Okay.
Pendleton returns their starting quarterback in Colin Bunch. And I know I talk about quarterbacks a lot, but that's just where the game is today. It's a very quarterback-centric game now.
You don't happen to know his father's name, do you?
I do not off the top of my head. No.
I knew a family up there. They were named Bunch. Richie Bunch was a fine quarterback. He played for Preston Cox at Pendleton, and then he had a brother that walked on at Carolina, became the long snapper. His name was Bunch. I can't call his name, but anyway.
But if anyone is wondering about Pendleton, they do have a major college signee this year, or major college verbal commitment in Malik Great. He is committed to go to Wake Forest.
Okay.
So that tells you a lot about the type of student athlete he is if he's going to Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
Honestly, if I had a chance to go to Wake Forest when I was fresh out of high school, I would have gone just because of the degree. That is a fantastic university to go to.
Yeah.
But he is also a track champion. I think he won, if I recall, he won 3 individual state track titles last year for 2A, helping the Pendleton to a state championship share.
Yeah, they turned out some other good ones, too. They turned out a woman to LSU, yeah.
Yes. Another one they have who is under the radar right now is Brad Johnson at defensive end. 6'3", 220 pounds as a junior. As a defensive end at a 2A school, that's pretty big.
Pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Pendleton might be becoming known as a defensive line factory because their last great one, Michael Hill, went to Ohio State and helped win a national title
Yes,
last
he
year.
did. Sure did.
So those two are really going to be the key on how far Pendleton goes. But Paul Sutherland has also talked to them and his entire team, and the entire team knows that those two are the big stars on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't win every game for them. They can't make every tackle. They can't make every play. So I think you'll see a lot of them on offense. They may be using Malik Great more as a decoy this year because he's going to command so much attention offensively. And that should open the door for fullback, running back, Naquan Ramsey, also another senior. He's about 5'9" and about 190 pounds. Another pretty solid guy.
Emmitt Smith size.
Yes.
Something like that, yeah.
A lot like Emmitt Smith, too. Not the fastest guy in the world, but he knows how to read holes and cut, and he can break a few tackles. Another key and their defense, of course, is going to have to, I think you'll see a lot of teams go away from Brad Johnson, try to run their offense around and away from him. So that's going to call for the other 10 guys on defense to step up and make plays.
Sure.
If they can get that, I think they have a shot to compete for a region title this year with all they have coming back and what the other teams are having to replace. Whether that comes true or not, that's why they play the games, I guess.
Sure, yeah, okay. Yeah, and Paul, I remember him from his days as assistant at Westside, and he has a good foundation in football.
Another fun fact about Paul Sutherland, his son, Ty, is actually an assistant coach down at Crescent now.
Oh, I did not know that.
So
that's okay.
And he walked on at South Carolina as a running back when he was in school.
Yeah.
And I saw him at the Jamboree, and he still looks like he could play.
All right.
But, yeah, that's the Bulldogs for you.
Okay.
So it should be a I think it'll be a fun year watching them, regardless of how it goes, because they're always a fun team to watch and they play physical,
Oh, yeah.
play hard. But yeah, after them though, we can move on to like we mentioned earlier, the Powdersville Patriots.
Yeah.
They are not like Pendleton at all. They are replacing a lot of guys from last year's team. Quarterback, all their skill wide receivers, their running back, a few offensive linemen, all their top tacklers are gone.
That can make for long Friday nights.
It can. But they do replace them with a very large senior class that did a lot of reserve work last year. So, and they will still be running the exact same offense, the exact same defense, that spread that has a really big emphasis on passing the ball. Chandler Jones is going to be their quarterback this year. And it's hard to get a sample size off the Wren Jamboree because neither Wren nor Powdersville looked very crisp on offense.
Well, and these jamborees, I used to kid Jim Frazier when he was coaching at Hannah. He didn't run but 3 plays in a jamboree, He up the middle, right and left.
Yeah.
That's all he. I don't know if they ever threw it.
Yeah.
So
And
it's hard to see.
That's something you also have to consider watching a jamboree is that you don't know what the coaching staff is looking for, what they have on their mind.
Yeah.
They may have 1 or 2 things they want to look for and see if they can do it
Yeah.
for the regular season. And, that may be what Wren and Powdersville were both doing. I do know for the first quarter, neither offense looked at all that crisp. Didn't have a first down until about 8 minutes into the quarter. So
Yeah.
both offenses struggled. But I think Powdersville will be okay. They do have some good athletes. E.J. Humphrey is a good one. J.J. Constantine is another one. The star of the show this year may be running back Jacoby Buford. He did look good in the Jamboree, and he looked good in the Anderson County Jamboree as well.
Okay.
He's a pretty big kid, about 6 foot, about 190 pounds.
Perfect size.
Yes.
Perfect size for high school running back.
Oh, yes. They also have some pretty good-sized offensive linemen. They're going to have to work on their blocking, though. They had some points in the Jamborees where they got out-physicaled, if that's a word.
That is,
they got-
in football, that's a word.
Oh, yeah. So they're going to have to probably work on getting more physical, more aggressive at the point of attack. And, again, with a Jamboree, you're not getting full effort. You're holding back a little bit because you don't want to risk injury or...
Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah. It's like preseason NFL games, know.
You're looking just to get through the game, see what you need to work on for that next week in practice, and address it. For Powdersville defensively, like I said, they lost a lot of guys, including their middle linebacker. His first name escapes me, but his last name is Berger. He was a tackling machine last year. He was their sack leader last year. He's gone.
Yeah.
Replacing him, though, I think, is a guy to watch in defensive tackle Logan Matter. 6'3", 290 pounds.
Big.
He is a space eater.
Yeah. Okay.
And he looked pretty good in the Jamborees. Again, I think he may get the Brad Johnson effect, where offenses try to run away from him and eliminate him from the defensive game plan. So a lot like Pendleton, the other 10 guys are going to have to step up and make plays. Only difference is Logan Matter's in the middle of the defensive line, so it's going to be kind of hard to run away from
You
him.
can't run away from
They also have another guy, a defensive end. If my tablet will finally cooperate. By the name of Tyler Robinson. 6'3", about 190 pounds, a little undersized.
Now, I know that name. I think I've heard him before. Yeah, he's somebody's...
He's a little undersized for a defensive end, but he's a good edge rusher. And so you have to think, if you're Powdersville, you have your middle of your line and you have one of your sides locked down. So your opposing offenses are all going to really have one way to go to run away from your defense. So maybe they can adjust to that, call plays accordingly that way to maybe force offenses back into their strong side. You never know. That's just some things you might be willing to look for if you're a fan of Powdersville watching them this year.
Okay, Lake Morris has been with us, and what a great, informative time we have had here. Lake is the prep reporter for the Anderson Independent Mail, and I certainly hope that maybe we can make this a weekly thing, Lake.
It will definitely be.
And we can get us a We need to publicize our little podcast as much as we can. And you folks who do listen, I wish you would get some other folks out there and help us along. We will do one each week on a high school this year. We haven't been doing that. Then we'll do a college and talk about them. And Cobb Oxford helps me do that a great deal. He's a former he's an old worn out sports writer. That's what I call Cobb. But anyway, Lake, thank you so much. This has just been great. And we will get into some other things. This has been one of our longest programs because we had so much to cover and to do, and I really did. I've liked it a great deal, and I appreciate you being there. And we'll see everybody on Mostly Sports Talk next time. Dadgum thing worked. That's the main thing.